It should come out. Okay. Play in, win or go home today on the bench. Hello, Pilipinas. I felt like doing the robe. Hello, Pilipinas. Welcome to the bench. This is the bench, and welcome to our huddle, where we offer a layman's view on anything and everything basketball from a bunch of regular dudes who eat, sleep, and breathe hoops. I'm Julio, Dubs Die Hard, and with us today, after a long time, back for the attack, is EJ.
Uh, been away too
So
long.
it's been way too long because from what a little birdie told me that you've been having a lot of new Fafa duties.
Yeah, a lot of
That
Fafa
is good.
duties.
Fafa
A lot of
duties.
it's Fafadelic.
Fafadelic. Apparently, obviously, Jay and Mike couldn't make it. I think Jay has a
Mm.
practice and Mike is still enjoying Inasal. That's
Yep.
cryptic. So you figure out where Mike is. It's not Binondo. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it's the deep south.
The deep side. Oh my God. Talaga
Tayo lang
naman.
tatawa dyan.
Talaga. You're gonna make me do some what's that? Some really, really inappropriate joke by that. What? You didn't. I'm not gonna catch the bait there. Anyway, um, today is today is the last day of play-ins, and it's winner go home.
Yep.
And the winners of today's games become the eighth seed. So before we
Yep.
start with our post-game reactions, please do like and follow us on The Bench Live on Facebook, and do subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Bench. Okay, let's
Cool.
start. Wait, let's start with game number one. What's game number one? Game number one:
Atlanta versus Cleveland.
Atlanta versus Cleveland. Both games were really, really good today. Really,
Yep.
really good.
Yep.
Um,
I mean, before we
previous,
begin, it's like I can say that I totally now disagree with I already disagreed with what LeBron said before, but now I vehemently disagree with it. Anybody that has a problem with play-ins doesn't like basketball. This is some of the most exciting basketball all year in
what
one
did
day,
LeBron
both
say about?
games.
What did he say
Huh?
exactly? What
It's
did he
like
say?
whoever instated, whoever came up with the play-in should be fired. He said that.
Really?
Yeah,
That's what he
that was
said?
that was before. Yeah, and when it
Before.
first happened.
What
Yeah,
about
and
what
it's just
about
really ironic because it's like they could have really used the play in,
yeah?
a couple
What
play
about
in wins to get in there, but
whoever
they didn't
doesn't
deserve it.
make the play-ins get fired?
Yeah,
Pwede bang
yeah, that's
ganyan?
been well. I mean, that's gonna happen, right? I mean, it's like
Well,
Vogel's gonna be fired. Russ is
he wa-
gonna,
wasn't
bye
he
bye.
fired already? Vogel's fired now, I think. Yeah.
That's
Woj
I
said
didn't
so,
know
dude.
specifics. I was like, it's either gonna be or already is. So if he's fired, then yeah, I mean, not
Woj.
surprised.
I think
Should
it
be.
came up from Woj. And I mean, if it came from Woj,
Yeah, that's it.
even Pelinka doesn't know it yet.
And that's not
So,
even. And that's not. It's not even a bomb. Everybody.
yeah,
Oh
no,
yeah, okay.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Vogel's fired. Yeah, okay.
Okay, so we go to the Atlanta Hawks. It was a really, really close game. Cleveland was up most of the way. They were
Yeah,
actually up a lot in the first half.
all the way until
And
the parts of the third. You know.
yes, and Atlanta eventually beats them 107 to 101. And what
And
happened? I mean,
Mark Cannon and Garland were hitting some big shots. They were aggressive early on. They were the ones
yep,
really carrying the scoring. But eventually, umalat si what do you call this? Si Garland.
yep,
Mark Cannon was the one that carried the bigger load of the scoring, right? Nobody else could really get going. If there was anyone at the belts that should have been Levert, but he didn't. Um, and but it looked good for a while for
no,
Cleveland. It's like
dude,
they look like the team that everybody expected, to get to the playoffs.
Cleveland had this,
Um,
but he had that. They muffed this one,
they
dude.
should have, they should have had this, and they definitely muffed it up. Kevin Love was really disappointing in this one. It's like they were hyping him up that one game where he was like in only 20 plus minutes he went 30
Yeah,
10 10 or something. He had a crazy stat line, but he disappeared today. I'm like,
Well, it's not that
come
he
on.
disappeared. You know what I saw
He didn't
in the
play
game.
him.
They didn't play him. You know why? Because this is the first time I saw the triple tower lineup of the Cavaliers get decimated. I'm gonna move the stats up by this guy, man. This guy killed them. This guy was running it like Steve Nash and scoring like Iverson. It was absolutely insane.
Dude,
Um,
I mean, it's like I know you're really avoiding saying it, and as I really also hate to like compare, but it was very Steph.
okay, very Steph in the way that he blew up in the second half. Very Steph. Actually, this
Yeah,
is very
slow
Dubs of
start.
the East. Slow start.
Yeah, it takes the third and fourth to really get going. Yeah,
Yeah. But he didn't explode necessarily with Trey.
with
with
just Trace.
Trey.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
Trace. Yeah, it's like there were a lot of, but the thing is, his floaters and his layups, those things that he was doing, it's like it really also really reminded me, like if Steph's threes aren't going, he shows up with all of these points in the paint, right? That are
Yeah, yeah,
really
yeah, yeah,
surprising,
yeah.
like surprisingly easy. Like you don't know, like how does this guy do it? He doesn't have any height or athleticism, and I think that's why Trey and Steph end up scoring late in the game because their game has that same speed, you know. So when
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
everybody else starts to slow down, they're all tired. All the athletes, aren't as athletic anymore. Pagod na sila, and it's like, well, their game is still there. They can start, scalping, moving through the defense a little bit easier. Their game
Oh
is just
yeah.
like that. They really find the openings, they find the holes, and they can
The
get in
only
there if those threes
the
aren't coming.
the only thing I really find different though between Trey Young and Steph is that Steph doesn't, well, he does sometimes with Dre, but Trey is very heavy on the pick and roll, man. He if you were, I mean, Kanina in the game, it's like when they would double him, he would pass out. When he would see confusion with the defenders, he would just burst into the lane. How many times did he confuse Markkanen and Jarrett Allen, who didn't know
Yeah,
exactly where to switch? You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
you make a mistake where to switch, and that's when Trey adjusts and
He's
all that.
got great handles. He's got
Yeah,
he's got pretty good handles, man. I mean, he keeps developing that. Just a bit. I think he's just a bit more. It's just he's just a couple years away from being at that the peak form that everybody's gonna freak out about.
he
And
reminds
I
me of
still don't
Mighty
know.
Mouse.
Possibly,
Um, and
yeah,
he plays good also.
yeah. It's
So
possibly.
anyway,
And those last um and after he started showing up making those big shots in the third and the fourth, I mean, and those are big shots, you start to make. He scored 30 points in the
yep,
second
yep,
half,
yep. He supposedly had a
and
bad half. Yep.
it was really the first half was like, oh shit, man, these guys are done. They didn't show up. Cleveland could have come out in the second half and buried them, but
And they lost.
Trey
What's
showed
his
up.
name? They even lost
They lost
Capella.
Capella because Mobley, yeah, that's right, fell on his leg and it
Yeah. Well,
overextended.
he pulled Mobley. He pulled Mobley, and Mobley fell into him. So
Yeah, but man, what a unlucky thing to happen. They really need him in the playoffs, and now it's like I don't think he's gonna play.
you know what? I'm
You
not
know,
even sure if it's a hyperextended knee. I want
we
to
don't
wait
know
for
what it
the
is.
reports. Yeah,
He
they're
couldn't
calling
walk
it a
out.
Yeah, they're calling it a hyperextended knee, but it looked kind of bad from
He
the
couldn't
way that
walk. He was really in pain there. He couldn't walk. But we've seen him
it's
on people like real in pain, and sometimes, it's a good thing when it's like what do you call it, versus na hindi mo nararamdaman.
yeah. It, dude, it reminds me of when Gortat fell on KD and KD missed 3 weeks. So I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm just saying. I don't want to doom the Hawks.
but I
That
mean, it's like you miss 3 weeks. They gotta play. They
yeah,
gotta play now.
yeah.
And so that's why I'm saying, and what's Colin's situation?
He's injured.
Out,
I don't
out.
know. Yeah, he's out. I don't know if he's coming back. I have to check
Okay,
really what's up with Collins. But I don't think. No, I don't think he's well. I don't know. Maybe I should research on that.
all right.
What's up with John
But
Collins?
anyway, after, okay, let's say, I mean, this game almost had everything because when it was down to a minute left in the game, they were separated by a point.
Yeah,
You know, It was just a 1 point game, and then crazy sequence happened where Mark Cannon stole the ball, and then
And then yeah,
immediately Horter
passes
stole
it.
the ball
Yeah,
in
yeah,
that
yeah,
same
yeah, yeah.
sequence, in the same half, in the side of
That
the
was the
court.
game. That was
You
the
know,
game, right?
it
Pretty much.
took seconds. Yeah, exactly. That
Yeah,
got the game. I mean, Cleveland could have had an opportunity right there, but
yeah,
the
and
fact
that
that Horter got it back and then they fouled Trey Young, that's it.
yeah.
That
But
was
for
it.
me, yeah,
That sealed the game.
this guy Dylan Wright was so key on Garland.
You sometimes you won't see it in the stats, but if you play
Yeah,
him like a lot, you play him 25 to 30 minutes, it's gonna start to show up.
yeah.
This guy
He was,
he plays. So, but he's got good defense.
and if you look at the lineup of Atlanta, no one here plays solid defense. Supposedly Hunter plays good defense, but I don't see it. I I I see the defense more in like Dylan Wright and of course Capella and all that. But this is what Atlanta needs. Atlanta is so good offensively; they need defense. When they wake up defensively, that's when the life starts. Almost like the Dubs, actually.
Yeah, yeah.
When the
I
Dubs
mean, if
wake up
there's
on
anything that
defense,
Atlanta really needs, it's consistent defense, and if they gain that, they'll be a lot more dangerous for sure. But as
there'll
of
be an
now, it's like it's in spurts. It's like they decide to play well. I don't want to say switch, but it's that's how it seems like. That's why that term flipping on the switch came about, because sometimes it's like you sucked and then suddenly where did this come from? You could have been playing like that earlier.
so
But
if
yeah,
if
Atlanta
they
isn't there yet. They're not consistent.
so if they played good defense, are they a potential Eastern Conference Finals team? Like they
I
were
would
last year.
say I would say they are, because that's also going to
I
dictate
know.
how much better they can be on offense. More opportunities for
Yeah.
them to score. So they just need to gain that consistency. I don't know where it's gonna come from. I mean, we've been hearing for years that Collins and Trey Young don't exactly get along.
They do na daw
And
eh. Daw.
huh?
They do
Yeah,
daw
they do the
already.
Dow,
Daw.
but it hasn't exactly translated into better basketball. What I found weird was that I was expecting when they traded Reddish that would clear the logjam that they have in the
Um
wings, right? But now suddenly it's like Bogdan that's uh playing better for them, and I was expecting either Huerter or Hunter to be the ones to get.
you
They
know
were
honestly,
playing great in spurts when they were healthy last year.
yeah, but you know honestly for me, I don't know, huh? Horter, Hunter, Bogues, I don't feel like they're a defensive. I don't feel defense from them, and we all know the Hawks have a defensive problem, and I
Yeah,
don't feel that from the Hawks. I didn't. Who do they have? Gallinari, who's not defensive, also.
yeah,
Trey's not
that's the
defensive,
problem.
and then so you were asking about Collins. I don't think Collins is that defensive,
No,
also, right? So
no,
and if I have a batchmate who always says numbers don't lie, people do, and that's where the numbers fall. Shout out to Andre the Destroyer. The numbers for Atlanta is always top five offensively and horrible
yeah,
on defense.
yep.
That's. Well, let's see. Because we're gonna talk about who are they gonna meet in the first round after we go through the second game. So
But definitely
yeah,
MVP of this game, Trey Young
ah,
scored big shots. It was and it was a really good game late. They made it a game. Cleveland will be better next year. They need to
they
make some
will.
moves. I'm looking forward to Colin Sexton playing with this team. I hope he gels with them.
I don't know.
I don't
That's
know
that's gonna
how.
be that's gonna be a big problem in the offseason for them, whether to
Let's see.
keep Colin Sexton or to
Yeah,
let him go. We'll see. We'll see.
yeah, exactly. It's like they've got
But
moves. They've got moves to make, but I think they will come back stronger. They have an opportunity,
but can
and
you
I think they will
imagine?
be.
Can you imagine how? Okay, just to give a snapshot now of the East, how strong the East is. Two teams that have had great seasons and have been exciting to watch are technically not in the playoffs. We're talking about Charlotte and the Cavs. I mean, the Cavs,
Yeah,
they had two All Stars this year,
yeah,
and they're out of the playoffs. I mean, just like that, they were like third in the standings for a long time, fourth, and they played around the upper half, and all of a sudden, in the last month when they all got injured, boom, play
For
in.
me, Cleveland was kulang. It's like in the end, it's like they really needed one of their stars to be there with them, and I think that's Sexton. But it also feels like a two a backcourt star setup with Sexton and, yeah, Garland, just like with Dame and CJ before. And we know it's like it's kind of
Yeah,
hard when
well,
it's like that.
yeah.
Um, but definitely they needed that one more guy to space it for them, right? And there was nobody to do that for Cleveland today. And I
But
think,
for
yeah,
but for me, this is the correct result, right? It should be the Hawks.
it should be.
I mean,
Yes,
it should be the
it
Hawks
should
in the
be.
place.
It
Okay,
should be the
so
Hawks. It's just that it shouldn't have come. They were much better than this last year,
yeah, yeah.
and it kind of it took a lot of adjustments this season to get to a point where they could barely beat Cleveland.
Well, anyway, so
But
now
well,
the
hey,
Hawk. Yeah, I
it's
know
gonna be Miami versus
the Hawks.
Atlanta.
Yeah,
I don't
we'll
think
talk
it's gonna
about that
be,
in the bracket. We'll talk about that matchup when
yeah,
we look at the
later.
bracket
Yeah,
later on.
yeah,
It's
but I
because
think
we're
that's enough for this one.
so if the Hawks should have won this, let's go now out to the second game because in the second game you have another team that really should have won it also
Yeah,
technically,
yeah.
right?
In
But
this case, the
no,
right team won it. The team that should have won it won it. But in the second game, the team that should have won it did not.
did not. And
They
of
did not.
course, the New Orleans
And you thought they were
Pelicans.
going to,
Yeah,
thought they
I
were
thought
going
they
to,
were
but
going to,
they kind of choked.
but no. Game number two, the Pelicans. What do I say? This should be called an upset, right? The Pelicans upset
Kind
the
of,
Clippers.
yeah. And well, it
Yes,
was an upset even before the game started. When Paul George was announced to have COVID. And
yeah.
suddenly it's like health and safety protocols, and well, that's it.
So the Pelicans are back in the playoffs since Anthony Davis. Is that correct? That's correct, right?
I think so. So I think
Yep,
this is the first time that Ingram has ever been there.
possibly. Yeah. The last time I saw the Pelicans or remember the Pelicans in the playoffs, they swept the Blazers. Because it's so funny how CJ is here, McCollum in the Pelicans.
Yeah.
Remember when the Pelicans swept the Blazers? Then they lost to the Warriors eventually. That was the last time they were in the playoffs. Because 2 years later, AD gets traded, if I'm not mistaken. That's what
Okay.
ended up. So wait, I'm gonna say hi to some people who comment. And the Destroyer Andre is here. Thanks for showing up. Lakers need Collins. Lakers need a lot of players. And
That
Doc
they do.
Nesty is here saying Larry Nance Jr. for the win, mga papi.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
again, it's
let's get to that.
another
It's another
I mean,
Laker.
as much to the to the pain of Jay, it's another sign of the young core showing how much they've improved since leaving LA, right?
Yep.
Last year Randall showed up for the Knicks. This year you've got Brandon Ingram, uh, sayang si
Larry Nance
Lonzo, but he was
Jr.
pretty good for the Bulls when he was healthy. Now Brandon Ingram showed up to and Larry Nance are gonna end up in the playoffs. I mean, it's
Yeah. Not just that,
uh
right? It let's say also for Portland, CJ McCollum's in the playoffs.
yeah.
Di ba-
And then for
well,
the nth year, Jordan Clarkson's in the playoffs again.
oh yeah, and look at Jordan Clarkson. And then Andre goes, it's the Pelicans' revenge on AD. It's true. It's funny, huh? The Pelicans are in the
Okay.
playoffs and AD's
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
So it's
yeah.
yeah, why not? Diba?
That's crazy. Never thought that was gonna happen. Never thought this year was gonna go the way it did for LA. But let's not talk about that anymore.
No, but what do we call? Okay, Pelicans are now in the playoffs. What did we've been calling this something? What like I've been you also. What happened to the Pelicans that changed their season? They started 1-12.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
What
yeah.
what are we
The
calling it? We're
Griffin,
calling it
the
the
Griffin
Griffin
pivot.
pivot. Pivot. Um,
Pivot.
there was a time. I mean, for me, it was. I'm gonna keep on repeating myself. There was a time in the season when the Pelicans decided to just stop waiting for Zion.
Yep.
David Griffin said, "You know what? Forget you, forget you. You can get healthy, you can get thin, you can get whatever, but we're gonna get a veteran. We're gonna bring him into our team, and he's gonna be our leader for this season. I don't know if you're gonna be a leader in the future, but right now, this is it safe to say this is CJ's team?
Yeah.
Even though I mean,
Maybe. Maybe. We were talking about that earlier. If there was a time for, CJ to really show up, it was today. And in some sense, he did. But the
yeah,
third quarter was like a disaster for them. And that goes for
no,
him
I
too. Goes
yeah,
for everyone. But if
but it's just
anyone
but
really stepped up for the Pelicans today, it's Brandon Ingram.
it's
And I
Ingram.
think we're really gonna see what the leadership situation is going to be moving forward. I think CJ brings that experienced leadership,
Yeah,
but in terms of scoring, it's gonna depend, you know,
yeah.
on because
But I don't
Ingram
think.
really feels like he always wants to push it, and he didn't even shoot a three this game. He was trying to shoot
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
all kinds of ways, dunks, fades,
But I do think
a lot of twos.
when it comes to like leadership, I don't think there is a way, or at least I don't see a way where you have Brandon Ingram. Let's say, for example, when it comes to, okay, if CJ wants something, I can't picture a situation because of seniority wherein Brandon Ingram defies him. I don't think Ingram's at that place yet to say to like fight CJ or become the
Maybe not.
alpha again. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Because
yeah.
because CJ is that senior, so
Yeah.
CJ might be the leader, and then
I mean,
giving.
I think at this point, it's like they can see that okay, CJ came in, and hey, we're in the playoffs now,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Diba?
So,
And
so
CJ
possibly, yeah,
can
I
be
think
the
you're right.
type and CJ can be the type of leader na he can be the type of leader na go. I mean, he can set up Brandon Ingram,
Yeah,
diba?
but I gotta
So
say, um, despite and despite CJ almost not showing up, he hit some big shots there in the fourth,
yeah.
and that really helped the Pelicans. And this game had everything. I have to
Okay.
say, from start to finish, this game had everything. There were lead changes, huge lead changes. There were,
Clippers
meltdowns
too.
happening, and then comebacks from meltdowns. You're like, okay. And then the clips just being the clips at some point.
Yeah.
I mean,
Wait. So
sorry to
what's up?
say for any Clippers fans, if there are actually any in the Philippines and in San Francisco, probably not.
Not from San
Um,
Francisco. Why San Francisco?
I don't know. It seems like we have some people listening from San Francisco sometimes.
Yeah. No, we do. But
we
I
have
don't.
Bay listeners.
He's definitely not a
Um,
Clipper. He's definitely not a Clippers fan.
no.
Wait, somebody is using, dude. Someone's using our page and saying Brandon Ingram, bata namin ni EJ yan.
Sino ba? Si Jay ba yan?
I don't know nga eh. Is this Jay or who's hacking into our
Who's
account?
this? Who is this?
It's not me. Sino ba to? You know what? I have a feeling this is John D. No, but
John
it
D ba
doesn't.
to?
No, it's
Doesn't
the
seem like
phrasing
it.
is not.
Doesn't
Yeah,
feel
it
like a
doesn't
John
seem
D
like.
thing.
Okay. There we go. Mystery solved. Mystery solved.
What's up, Jay?
What's up, Jay? Sabi ng bandmates mo, hoy, mag-practice ka na. Okay, so wait, let's go through the whole motion out this game. This game was
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, okay.
So New Orleans, correct me, because I might get the sequencing wrong.
Yeah.
New
Go.
Orleans goes up by like 14-ish, 15-ish
14,
early in the
15
game.
plus.
Yeah,
Right? So 15, max 16, but there
till the
at
half.
most.
Till the half.
Yes.
They were up at half, or no? They
And
were up
then,
at the half.
it's like you had a lot of them really pushing the pace. Ingram, definitely. JV wasn't really there for them. And then, but we'll talk about that more later as
Yeah,
and the game ends.
but they
It
were
was it
but
was
they were up in
Ingram.
the
It
half.
was CJ. CJ
Yeah,
just
yeah.
disappeared in the third, but he was there in the first. They were the one. They were the ones pushing.
Yeah.
Their rookies were pretty good.
But that was the whole first half, right? It was all New Orleans.
Yeah, New Orleans was
Yeah,
really likely. We were like, it's like
because I
Clips are
was
done,
watching.
you know.
I
It's
was
like, and
watching on.
it felt right, because it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
they didn't have Paul George, they didn't have their scoring leaders there, and then
No, because I was
they
watching it.
adjusted.
I was watching it. I was watching League Pass, and I remember that they were so up when the halftime performer with the little doggy and the stereo came out. So the Pelicans were up at that point, and then the
Yeah,
third quarter comes, and what happens? The Clippers go nuts.
yeah, they
They go
adjusted. They
small
went
ball.
small.
Yeah.
They went
Okay.
small. Pels couldn't figure that out. It's like suddenly there were moments, and JV really seemed to be who got hit hardest there.
Yeah.
So
He was being Toronto
eventually they
JV
figured,
again.
he can't be playing too long. For most of the fourth, he wasn't there. Uh, and they went nuts in the third. That was a 20 plus 30-point swing
Yes.
for the Pelicans, and they ended the third with a 10-point lead. Reggie
Yeah.
Jackson led the way. Marcus Morris led the way
Norman
for
Powell was
them.
playing well. Norman
Yeah,
Powell played well in
Powell
the third.
also played well for
Yeah.
them, but more on that later.
Can I?
And Covington and Batum were giving BI
Yeah.
some
Oh,
like headaches there. It's like those
Sab,
two guys when you turn on the defense.
sabi ni Bobby, Batum looks like he could be Mr. Bean's son. Yes, but
Okay, maybe.
French son. Na, di ba?
Well, he
French.
did go on a French vacation, didn't he,
Who? Mr. Bean?
Mr. Bean?
You know what? I hardly watch Mr. Bean.
I think it was one of
Whoops,
those
whoops,
movies. I'm not sure.
whoops.
Um, but
So on the
okay,
okay, so up by 10
up by
in
10
entering the
on
fourth,
the
the
third, and then enter
Clippers.
the fourth.
But at that point,
Uh,
we were texting each other already. We're saying, you know what? It really should be the Clippers anyway, diba? I
yeah,
mean,
we
they're
were
the
we
more
were saying that
experienced
it's like
team.
it's like it's right. They should carry this one game. In time for PG to
Yeah.
come back and help them out
Yes.
in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
Okay.
if he doesn't get a bad case,
And it's a learning
uh,
experience. It's a
that
learning
is right.
experience for CJ.
Learning
Okay,
experience for the
great. Sige,
Pelicans.
okay.
Oh, they
And
pwede
then what
na, right?
happens?
I mean, it's not
What
what I
happened?
wanted, but
Yeah.
then I think this is where they really adjusted, and Nance steps up greatly. And Nance, like at the end
Nonsense.
of the game, has 16
Yep.
rebounds, right,
14
and
points,
14
16
points.
rebounds.
It's like this is how Larry Nance always helps his teams, right? He gets these huge rebounds, and he'll have
Yeah.
assists here and there. Did really well for the Pelicans. Bi exploded. CJ made some big shots. And I have to say also Herb Jones.
Jay talaga. BI. No one else believed me, EJ and I. Ano kayo ngayon? Sino kayo? Me?
I don't know.
Baka,
I don't know,
baka,
but I know for me it's like I've always
no,
trusted. I've always felt Ingram was your 2010 guy. Or this game was a 35-5, right? Something like that. He's a
yeah,
bucket.
yeah.
You know, I just don't know if he's the leader type. The man, nga, diba? I mean, is he the type that can be the man? Until now, we don't know. I'm not sure, but he was the man today. But
Didn't
for a
take a
whole
single
team, right? So
three-point
I think
shot
it's
like
still
you said, huh?
CJ.
That's
Huh?
interesting. Did not take a single 3-point shot.
Yeah, he didn't.
That's
So he was very aggressive. He went to the basket a lot. It's like he took them when he felt they were open. He didn't settle for any long jumpers. I was there. See,
apparently
Bob,
Bobby saw the movie also.
exactly. He saw it. I was right. He went to France, and that's how that happened. That's how he got Batum.
Ah, yeah. Okay, now I get it. Now I get. You know what? I'm
Right.
gonna Google that. I'm gonna check that movie out just for you, Bobby. I'm sure it's on some streaming
And
service. Ay,
now, you've got. You can really see how the defense of Grand Theft Alvarez really helped CJ
Grand Theft
open up.
Alvarado.
Yeah, Grand Theft Alvarado. Love that guy. Um, and I hope he keeps improving. But yeah, that's the
Oh
kind of
yeah.
backcourt that CJ can thrive in. And then I was also saying earlier that CJ is helping opening up BI's
Yeah.
game as well, right?
You also mentioned Herbert Jones.
Yeah, Herb Jones.
Herb
I
Jones.
mentioned
Yeah.
him because he may not have the biggest line today, but I think they were efficient lines. He didn't shy away when the shots. He didn't
Yep.
pass when the ball came to him. It's like he was open. He went for those threes. He made one of those threes. He
Wow.
attacked the basket
Good.
when he could. He's got one of those all-around underrated all-around games for a rookie. He's a steal for where they got him, and I think
Six,
this guy is gonna be something for them in the
30,
future.
35th pick, Herb Jones. You know who he
Yeah,
reminds me of?
who?
But dude, he starts at guard. Huh? I didn't know this. I thought he would start with like forward. Holy crap. That's a tall guard. He's a really long
Yeah,
and
diba?
tall
The
guard.
trees, man.
Yeah,
CJ and the trees.
that's right. No, but that's exactly how Draymond would affect the Warriors before. Draymond's just a little bit heftier, but
Yeah.
Draymond being a second round pick and Draymond doing all the. That's how Herb Jones does. He doesn't really score much, though he can. He'll hit threes here, steals blocks, and that's Herb Jones' game.
Yep. Yep.
That's pretty
And
cool.
then come the end, it was really close. Norm Powell has a chance to make it a single possession game, and he misses
No,
the
but he
first
misses
free
it.
throw.
Yeah. Well, dude, in the
And
end,
before that, wait, before that, who missed the free throws? Larry
yeah,
Nance missed both
missed
free
both free
throws.
throws.
He
Well,
could have sealed the game right there. It
um,
seemed like a very LAC, Pels game for
yeah,
that,
dude.
for that to
Even when
happen.
even when they trapped Brandon Ingram and he made that pass, that should have been stolen easily.
Should have been
Remember there was a
stolen.
trap. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
it was
it's
almost.
very
They almost had that. You know, they should have got that. There were a lot of opportunities for the Clippers to win this.
yeah. Bobby goes. I don't know
But
why Ingram stopped attacking in crunch time. The game should have been over sooner if
I
he could
think
get
he's not used to this type of playoff situation,
exactly.
this type of environment where suddenly all the attention is on him. They were double teaming him. That's how dangerous he was. But he's
Yeah,
not that used to that yet, you
but
know.
Mika said
But eventually they
conversely.
got out. It happened again, and he had the mindfulness to pass it to
Yeah,
JV, who was
but
nowhere all game, and he
yeah,
seals it
yeah,
with a
yeah,
dunk, right?
yeah.
And
In
you
the
know,
end
the dude
game,
that
yeah,
was
yeah, yeah.
nowhere, who was invisible all game, suddenly raising his hands like he was the one, game winner.
Yeah, for
Jonas
me,
Valanciunas. That
for
sounds
me nga,
hilarious. I was
for me
laughing.
nga, it just shows that the Pelicans were obviously the younger team because they couldn't really close out the Clippers. They kind of like half. It's like they wanted to lose it also, but the
Yeah,
Clippers
but
just
dude, look at it, man. It's like when you look at the box score and you see it's like, okay, Reggie Jackson and Morris had like 27, 28 each, and you're like,
yeah.
yeah, if you're depending on those guys, I really don't think you
I
had,
know that's why, yeah. And then Norman
you
Powell
know.
had 17, but I just thought Only Wings would do it, man. Apparently, Only Wings is you have to have more on your plate than just unlimited wings.
Kasi it's again, Covington and Batum can really do a number in your team defensively, and
Yeah,
they'll contribute on the scoring end when it's available, but they're not the types to really carry you.
yeah,
You need that Paul George who's gonna stop the run of the other team. You need that Kawhi. Either one of
yeah.
those guys would have been very helpful for them today because they're great defenders
I
and they're
complete
great scorers in the crunch.
I completely agree. And now, again, the Clippers are out. Pelicans are in, and let's hit the
And no,
brackets,
no.
man.
Okay,
What?
okay. And the Clippers are in. The Clippers are out. Sorry, the Clippers are out.
Yeah.
And who else is in? Who they traded away?
Who else is in that they
That the
traded
Clippers
away?
traded away. Who celebrated like he just won a championship?
Yeah, yeah.
Huh?
They choked that game also. Yes, Pat Bev is in the playoffs. Yep, I get labo. Okay, you know what? In a weird way, you can't say that it's been a pretty good season so far, man. I mean, with all these weirdness happening. Um, so here's the bracket, EJ.
Yeah. Okay.
Tomorrow, I mean, so now this is set now. The play-ins are done, and this is set. It's going to be Phoenix, New Orleans,
Yep.
and it's going to be Miami, Atlanta. How do you
I
think?
love this. I love this so much for the Pelicans. They can really learn a lot from a series
Yeah,
like
well, yeah,
this with Phoenix. I hope that's how they take it. I know they're going to be gunning for wins, as they should. They're in the playoffs. You should give everything, throw everything. Um,
but this is really
and
Chibok, no? This is experience. They will eat them up with experience. That's what's
you
going to happen
expect
here.
it. You expect
Yeah,
it. I mean, it's like this Phoenix team went all the way to the finals, and they improved their record this year.
yeah.
If they lose, that's gonna be Dallas versus we believe.
Ah, even worse. I
that's
don't think.
that's
Yeah,
exactly
yeah,
how that's gonna happen, or possibly worse. But I think this is Dallas versus because Dallas had a record season that year. That's not exactly that for Phoenix.
I actually thought the
Uh,
Clippers had a chance if they were at the eighth spot. If Paul George and Kawhi decides to come back
If
against
Paul
Phoenix.
George, if Paul
Yeah,
George at least was there. But this is dangerous, man. I don't think Phoenix exactly has someone that can guard Bi. You know, but same goes also for them. They don't have anyone.
dude,
I well, no,
Miles
but they have
Brid
Alvarez. They have Alvarez
Miles
that they can put
Bridges, man,
on.
can
No,
Miles Bridges can guard Bi. He's like defend. He's like in the
okay,
defensive team talk right now. All defense
okay. I
team.
was well considering CJ probably be on Chris Paul. And you probably have JTA on Booker.
Booker. Yeah.
I
Well, they
think
probably
that's
put,
I think that's how that would go.
or they'll put Herb Jones on
JV
Booker.
would be pretty good versus Aiton. You know what? That's not a bad. I don't think that it's a bad matchup.
It's
Right
not a bad
here.
matchup, but
But
Phoenix
of
will
course,
grind it
yeah,
out.
we know Phoenix is
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Phoenix.
Yeah,
Chris Paul
they'll
is Chris
grind this
Paul.
one out.
Yeah.
Um, you saw all the
Okay, and
mistakes a
then
while ago. Well, you saw all the mistakes a while ago that the Clippers still kind of caught up.
yeah,
Phoenix won't make those. You know
yeah,
what I mean? Did I
yeah.
say Clippers? Yeah,
They have their
Clippers.
guys. Phoenix has their guys.
Miami, Atlanta.
Miami, Atlanta. I think Miami kills them.
You think so? Not even close.
I think Miami kills them. I think Atlanta. I mean, even though they got in, it took them a while to get to this
Yeah,
point. They almost lost to Cleveland. You know, it's like they start slow like they did today.
and they won't be able to come
Miami
back
will
against
kill them.
Miami.
Miami will kill them in those situations. Miami's not
Yeah,
gonna lose
yeah.
composure. You
I was
know, they're
talking
not
with
gonna melt down.
I was chatting with Doc Nesty a while ago, and we were putting down on paper the players of Miami and Atlanta, and even on paper, Atlanta's really kulang. Plus, you take
Yep.
away John Collins
And Capella.
and Capella, and that's really game over. Well,
It's like yeah, it really is. I mean, they're a lot weaker now
yeah,
than how they started. They're missing key guys. I don't think you know.
okay.
For me, I would have really liked to see Charlotte, but they really folded against Atlanta.
They'd
I
probably
think
be worse. Yeah,
I think that's a team that can really benefit from a few key
you want them
veterans.
for the experience, but that makes
But
sense.
but
That makes
but
sense.
but they need veteran leadership. They really need veteran leadership. Uber is not that for them for sure.
Yeah. Well, he
Miles
might be for the
Bridges
Lakers
needs.
next year.
I mean, it's like you got Lamelo and Lamelo. Yeah,
You heard
it's
that
like he could
rumor?
be.
You
I
heard that
mean, the
rumor?
Lakers could use
Gordon
him.
Hayward.
LeBron is LeBron. He's still your
Yeah.
legit. They still have AD. You just
Ubre's
need guys
model
that can shoot.
Ubre's modeling career might take
I
a
might
big
take off
jump.
in LA. Yeah. Um, and wala lang, kulang pa si Lamelo and Miles Bridges. Man, as
Bobby
much as I love them
Jay
this season.
Jay is practicing. May practice siya today.
Yeah.
That's what. Yeah. He's also but he's still drinking beer poolside
Most
somewhere.
likely. Doesn't matter what he's doing.
Yeah, doesn't matter. He could be working out. He'll still be poolside drinking a beer. I don't know how that's possible. But anyway, okay.
Oh, let's
Tomorrow,
go
huh?
over the rest of the matchups.
Let's well. Um, okay, let's go. Because I was gonna go over the schedule tomorrow, but sige, let's go.
Okay. Schedule tomorrow.
Schedule because tomorrow is the playoff games mismo. I mean, that's the tomorrow's the first day of the playoffs. So that's gonna be how do I fix this up? Okay,
Utah versus Dallas.
1 in the morning. Utah versus Dallas. No
Yeah, forget
Luca.
that.
No
I'm
Luca
not
for the
gonna
first
watch.
two.
I really want to watch this, but I'm not going to.
And then at 3:30, you're gonna have the Battle of the Angas. That's what I'm gonna call this matchup. The Battle of the Angas. The Timberwolves
Yeah,
versus the
yeah.
Grizzlies.
I don't know who's
Uh,
gonna come out on top. I'm not rooting for anyone at all
I'm rooting for someone at
in,
least.
in this series. Maybe the Timberwolves, just because.
Just because Anthony Edwards is
Yeah,
your
my boy,
client.
man, my client.
And then at 6 in the morning, it's gonna be Raptors Sixers. Jay likes
Yep,
this matchup because
yep,
he
yep.
likes the Raptors. And then of course at 8:30, it's gonna be the Nuggets and the
Yun
Warriors.
pala, yeah, that's right. We got the
Yeah,
Nuggets and the Warriors tomorrow. I mean, we're sorry when we go to talk too much about the Dubs
I don't talk
on the
enough, but Steph's
show.
playing tomorrow, from what I
But
know.
that's our team right there.
I'm j-
Um,
I'm just scared because of all this health and safety. Like I forgot it's a thing. So I still I'm like crap.
and yeah,
Oh
and
man,
it's like
no.
it could just show up,
Yeah,
at any point. So I don't know how they're dealing with it. Are they masking just in case? There are a lot of people in
yes.
the states that really don't care about that. Like, don't make us do that.
I hope they
I
mask.
don't know how they're thinking. I hope the Dubs just take every precaution, because even though it's not that dangerous, maybe it's like, just take the precautions anyway. It's a
Yeah.
playoffs, right? Do everything you can to stay in there, and that goes for every team. But then you got guys that aren't even playing at all.
I know.
Like, who's not playing for the Sixers? Tybul.
Tybal is not playing because of the
Tybul's not
vaccine.
playing because
Yeah.
he's not vaccinated. He
But
can't play in.
games 3-4 in
Oh
Canada.
yeah, because they
Yeah,
have to go to Toronto, and he can't play
yeah,
in
yeah.
Toronto.
Yep. So
So
tomorrow, I mean,
it's gonna be fun if the Raptors actually win and they end up facing the Nets for some reason,
yeah. So,
and then
dude,
Kyrie can't play. That'd be funny.
after today, and then the next day are the play-in teams. They're going to be facing their opponents
So we
already.
talked
It's gonna
about Miami, Atlanta. Um, Celtics and the
Nets,
Nets is gonna be
Celtics.
very, very interesting. That's gonna an
Yep.
intriguing matchup. I really can't say sino yung lamang dyan,
Ako Nets all the
but
way. I Nets all the way
I
for
don't
me.
think it's that easy. But I'm
No,
not. I don't
yeah, we'll see.
disagree that it's not the Nets, but I don't think it's that easy. The Celtics had a really great run in the end there. I think they're peaking at the right time. They've got it pretty together.
What the hell's up with NBA.com? Regular season leader Seth Curry. What the hell? Anyway, I, I don't get that. I don't get that love.
sure.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's Seth. I love Seth. Sige lang.
I'll
Uh,
I'll answer Doc Nesty. Yes, Steph and Clay supposed to be playing tomorrow,
yup. My gosh, right?
and
My
Drummond looks
gosh.
like AC Law. I don't know how you remember AC Law's face, Bobby. I don't. I
No
just
comment.
does he look like AC Law? I know who AC
No
Law
comment.
is.
I remember AC Law,
Yeah,
but no
but
comment.
then Bucks Bulls,
Giannis,
Suns.
yeah, the Bucks are gonna clobber the Bulls, man. The Bulls just don't
Yes.
have it together when they face top four talent.
Yep.
I don't know what it is, but they really fold against better teams.
Them Pelicans.
And I don't
Pelicans
know who's at
Suns.
fault there. I know Demar's a good player. Levine's a good player.
They're just
I
not deep
think
enough.
Vooch is the weakest of the three, and for some reason, he really hasn't been put. The dude has the capability to be a top 10, top 15 fantasy player,
I
but
think I think
it's
Vooch
like
is
he's the kind of guy that needs to be the leader of a team
yeah.
for him to produce. And now he's like the third option, and he doesn't
Uh,
know his place.
I
I mean, he
don't know.
shows up, he gets double doubles, but it's
I
really
don't want to
it's kind
say
of
it,
weak.
but he's kind of like good player, bad team type player. Where now he's supposed to be in a winning team. You don't really see the effect so much of Vooch because all we saw him was
Yeah,
Orlando the whole time.
is he now?
That's
Is he really a good player? He's so maybe he's just a good. He's
he's just a
okay.
good
He's not
yeah,
a
but
great player.
he's not gonna
He
win
can.
you.
He's not the kind of guy that can stand out in a better team.
Let's
Like,
put it this way.
that's not even a great team.
No, let's put it
It's
this way.
not.
You get the Bulls. You can't do the 20 points by Levine plus 20 points by DeRozan plus 20 points by Vooch because Vooch doesn't get 20 points every single with them in the
No,
ball game. It doesn't just add up like
no.
that mathematically like in 2K. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
So
I haven't been on the Bulls enough to know exactly what their problem is. I mean, it
they're
definitely
not.
helps if Lonzo and Caruso
Yeah,
were
that
really healthy and
also.
100%, but they're not. But no team is naman, but they were really helpful. Their defense really helpful. Their playmaking was very helpful. But that's
But
no
they're not.
excuse because you have your top talent.
The Bulls are not deep. That's how I always saw them. They're not deep.
Yeah.
Um, diba? Vooch is not a Vooch bag.
What?
Vooch is a
What?
nice guy naman. He's not a Vooch bag.
Okay.
Vooch bag.
Okay.
Vooch bag. You know what? Bob. I'm also I've never seen also. Dude, have you ever seen a douchebag?
Yeah,
Yeah, you have.
yeah.
I have never. Anyway, I'm not going to get into the topic right. I've never seen. Okay, I'll just say this. I've
I
never seen
haven't
a
seen.
douche.
I've never seen it used.
Okay, because I've never seen a douche in my life, and I'm not going to explain what a douche actually is. Na lang.
Yeah, let's not go there. I
Yeah,
mean, what
it's
are we
not. Let's not.
doing?
Let's not
Even
go there.
mentioning it, it's a basketball show.
I know. That's why.
And then after
Ay,
that, we've
sorry,
talked
sorry,
about
sorry.
Phoenix
Wait.
and the
Got lost. Yeah,
Pelicans. Looking forward to the experience that the Pelicans will get there again, as I've said earlier.
yeah.
Regular season leaders, Jonas Valanciunas.
I know, diba? I don't know. I don't. I don't get it, man. I don't. Joe, bahala sila. Tyler here. I don't get it. Anyway, that's the bracket. I think we went through the 8 teams through the schedules. It's going to
Yep,
be a wild, wacky run.
I think it's gonna be a fun playoffs. I think it's good.
Yeah,
I
it's
think it's gonna be a good playoffs.
and well, we'll be back on Monday. We won't be back tomorrow because you know what? We also have Easter stuff to do
Yeah.
and lives. And thank you everyone though for dropping by. Thank you, Bobby. Thank you, Nesty, Doc Papi, Andre, Jay, Joe, and our mysterious bench texter. Thank you everyone for watching. Hey, EJ, have a good Easter, man.
You too.
I hope
Everyone
everyone had
else
a
too.
blessed, yep, hope everyone had a blessed Holy Week. Have a great Easter with all your fam bams, and we'll see you on Monday. Jay, Mike, balik na kayo ah. Hopefully, EJ, if you don't have so much daddy duties,
Yeah. Let's
just
see.
show up also. Thank you
Let's
for
see.
saving us today.
I had fun. They were fun games. It's like just wanted to point it out, man. Play-ins are the shit.
Yeah. I don't have Jay to send me home, but can you send us home, Jay? EJ?
What am I supposed to say?
You're supposed to say, you heard it first here on
You heard it first here on
The Bench.
the bench.
Bye, guys. Take care.